what's bound in grace. With you, I've found my safest place. Ride or die through the firestorm tonight. God brought us here, we'll stand and fight. You're my best friend, my love, my life. I'm going nowhere, I'm holding tight.
And I know Jesse will be documenting this for me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a late night of Abnormal Investigations. I hope everybody's doing all right, or anyways, it's a late night here. It may not be a late night where you're at, but it is a late night here. Oh, I've been sitting here editing and working on things all night tonight for the channel, setting up some guests, some interviews, and even a premiere that we have scheduled. We got a special guest going to come on and help us do the premiere. He's going to step in and co-host for a little while. Randy's going to be out for a little while. I would ask for prayers for Randy and his family, please. He definitely needs prayers. Randy may be out for a while, but I am definitely working on somebody that's going to come in and fill in his spot. I think as they can. They're also busy with their channel, so there you go. That gives you a little hint who's going to be co-hosting over here. Oh, so how's everybody doing tonight? We'll go ahead and start off with a little roll call, a little chit chat. Why not, right? It's only 2:30 a.m. here in the morning, and it's been a long time since Abnormal Investigations has done a impromptu at this time of night. We used to do them a lot whenever I would get bored, and everybody loved them. So hopefully you guys will like it. Yes, Belinda, this is a live broadcast. We are live. But yes, Brenda, we are live. Thank you for being here. All the way from, I believe, New Zealand. And we got Belinda here. We got Emmy Tongue here. Who we got in there? Everybody sound off and let me know you're here. We will call you out. I'll try to throw your name up. There's Emmy is in here. We got Belinda's in here. We got Inner Psychics here. Good to see you. Always a pleasure to see you, Inner Psychic. It's been a while since when you was in, I think, the last one. I think I remember seeing you. When I'm out doing the boots on the ground, guys, the chat moves so fast. I apologize if I miss any of you guys. It's not on purpose. Diana, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Sunshine, good to see you. Glad you was able to make it. We got Sky Wonderly's here. Always a pleasure to see you, Sky Wonderly. Thank you very much for being here. Y'all can see that we do have some new moderating faces in the chat. Those are going to be needed more and more as we go on. Sky Wonderly, all the new moderators, if you want to send me an email so I will know how to contact you all with updates and stuff to the channel, just send it to my email, abnormalinvestigations77@gmail.com. That way I can get you all set up on how you want to be able to see what's going on, and I can send you a link to our private calendar that you can check anytime to see what's going on, what's coming up. And I think that'd be a great idea for you guys. So that's some of the perks of being a moderator over here. So yeah, I think y'all will really enjoy that. It'll give you a little more insight to the channel, what we're doing, and we appreciate that. If any of y'all are also interested in moderating for my outdoors channel, just add in your email. Say I'm also interested in the outdoor channel. If you're not, no big deal, because a lot of people are not going to be interested in both channels. So just let me know. So tonight, we were supposed to do a boots on the ground, as y'all know. Man, I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was ready to do it. I was really excited to do it. And at the end of this, guys, once I get all this out of the way, if y'all want to know kind of what we got coming up, I'll give y'all some hints. I'll drop some hints tonight, right? I mean, it's late at night. You're supposed to talk late at night. You're supposed to say things you're not supposed to, right? But anyways, without Jesse here, I get a little free action tonight. She don't have to worry too much. I'm not going to go into too much. I don't think I will go into too much. But tonight, guys, we were supposed to go boots on the ground, and man, I waited all day and night to do it. I got all the equipment. I don't know if y'all actually know. I'm not really joking when I'm in the field when I say, man, I have a lot of equipment on me. I really do carry a lot of equipment. I have one. Let's see, Pam got me a bag I use for a first aid bag. I have a large bag. It carries all my lights. I have another bag that carries all my equipment, the Geiger counter, the electromagnetic meter, all that, the night vision goggles. I have 2 night vision goggles. One was sent to us. He didn't want me to give his name out. And as you can see, it also mounts on your rifle. This is a very nice one. It goes on the rifle. And man, you can shoot with it, do whatever you want to. I usually have this on my little Dragon I carry at night because you can, yeah, it's really nice. And it records also. It has zoom and everything. So I really, really enjoy that one. And then I have another one that is like a picture screen that I use. And the one I use that's like a picture screen It's really nice too because it has a bigger window that I'm able to look at visually as I'm looking. It's like a TV screen. The disadvantages to it, though, is it night blinds you for a little bit. So that's why you don't see me using a whole lot of the night vision at night, because it does night blind you. If I had somebody with me, I would be able to use a lot more of the equipment that I have. I have a lot more equipment. For instance, tomorrow night, I'm going to be carrying the Geiger counter on me. Jessie, she pretty much requested, she said, "Can you carry the Geiger counter this time?" And I was like, well, yeah, I think we can probably fit it on somewhere. But you don't want to overwhelm yourself to where you're too heavy. If you've got to run, you got to move, or you got to be tactical, Belinda's got Jessie's back. But, I have to be careful with how much weight I'm carrying, because I want to make sure that if I have to move, run, or do anything like that, I don't want to be overweighted. So that's one of the things that's kind of a downside. But anyways, today, before we went out, I was doing some videoing for the Outdoor Channel. And while I was doing that, the wind today in Oklahoma was absolutely crazy. I mean, probably 40 plus mile an hour wind, gusting higher than that. We had stuff actually blew over in the pasture. We had all kinds of stuff going on here. We were chasing things. Kaylee was chasing things. So it was a pretty crazy night, or day that led into the night. At about 7 o'clock, I was hoping it was going to die down. That way we would be on the road, because where we're going now, guys, we're going to a lot further locations than what we've been doing for obvious reasons. We'll talk about that too. But at 7 o'clock, guys, it just had not wound down. And because it hadn't, the area that I'm going to is a very wooded area. I don't know if a lot of you all are familiar with widowmakers. My grandpa was a logger. That's what he done. And a widowmaker essentially is a tree that has either fallen and is hung in another tree, or you can have large limbs that have come loose that have been held in trees. During strong wind events, that can cause these trees to crash down or these large limbs to fall, which can seriously hurt you, harm you, or even kill you. People's died from it, hence, widowmaker. So I have to take a lot of that into account too when we go out there. It's not just the cryptids that we have to worry about. We have to worry about the other animals in the area: snakes, spiders, scorpions, mountain lions, now alligators kind of in the area. But the widowmakers today was what I was worried about, with the amount of wind and everything. I was just like, and plus you all wasn't going to hear anything. It's down by the water. Y'all are just going to hear like crashing water. You're going to hear the trees blowing. It would have been a disaster, even at that. So I thought, man, we don't want to go down there and just blow the whole thing and possibly run whatever's out down there and not get no footage because we're pushing it, or go down there and worse, get hurt, crippled or something and can't get out of there. And then it's an opportunity for it and it takes advantage of it and things turn out bad, because y'all know I do go alone. Sky Wonderly says, "Oh, for sure, here in North Texas too. I had chickens taking flight." Oh no, Sky Wonderly. If they land up here, I'll send them back to you. Yes, Emmy, we try to do safety first for sure. That's always a concern. Belinda, yep, it was windy. Yep, it was windy there too in New Zealand. It looks like really windy. Then we got Scott Nixon in here. Good to see you, Scott. Glad you was able to make it. Yeah, Inner Psychic, it just didn't feel right. And I didn't want to push into that with the extra wind. And y'all know that in the woods, when you have that extra wind, you also are limited on what you're going to see, right? So, I mean, the trees are going to be, your hearing is going to be affected. I'm not going to be able to hear as far away as I normally would be able to. So just a lot of things would have been against us tonight, and I really didn't want to have to deal with that, if you know what I mean. So anyways, that's why we called it off tonight. I did reschedule it till tomorrow, and there's a possibility tomorrow, depending on the wind, that I might be able to move it up and we may go at 7. So watch the chat to see if I change the time, because I got some things going on tomorrow. I've got some recordings I got to do with another gentleman, guys. I've got a lot of stuff scheduled that's going on, so we may move it up to 7 o'clock for the live. So I will do a short tomorrow also and update you guys, but also I'll try to post it in the chat. It's going to be the same link it was today. I've already changed the date on it and everything. So the only thing that would change as of right now would be the time. So where are we going and why are we going? Belinda says 7 is good. Hey, Scott, getting ready to start the day off, huh? It's 2:42 a.m. here, so it'll be a little early for me. Belinda says 7 p.m. is good. I know a lot of y'all want me to stay with 8 p.m., but tomorrow, since we've had to move everything, I don't know that I can stay with 8 o'clock. We may have to go 7 o'clock. So if you miss it, you can always watch the replay. I don't know yet for sure, but I will let you know. Where are we going and why are we going? So y'all know the last location we went was a new location. It was given to me by a gentleman that watches the show. His name's Daryl. That turned out to be a pretty crazy place. Very secluded. Had a lot of grapevines in the area. There was a lot of woods there, and really far down Creek Bluff. So that was a pretty wild place. I think it was a very active place. He asked me if I was going to go back to that place. Guys, we had a lot of things go on there, and I would call that one of our most active spots that we've actually been to. Do you all want to revisit Daryl's place? It's a little bit of a drive, but it's worth it because, I mean, yeah, it was active. We're having to go further right now than where we've been investigating anyways because of the trolls and everything. I've got people right now threatening in the area to drive around and film where I actually was investigating to share it with whoever. We can only assume what they're doing. But we're traveling out of the area now. We're not going to play that game. I don't want to play that game. Diana, it was very crazy. So we're just going to travel further. It's okay. Traveling further. Last time we ended up with a really good live, guys. We ended up, can you believe this, with over 14,000 views. Okay, in under 2 hours. 14,000 views in under 2 hours. I'm not even going to go into how good the analytics were on that video. We really, really rocked it on that video. It was a really good night. Boosted everything. We gained 81 new subscribers in less than 2 hours. By the time the whole live up until this point right now, I can tell you live time right here, we have gained 141 subscribers from that video. So we are on par right now to hit 30,000 subscribers, which is the next milestone in YouTube. So Abnormal Investigations is really coming back up to where we were at. We should hit 30,000 and bypass 30,000 pretty fast. Right now we're gaining approximately a little over 600 subscribers a month right now. So we're really rocking it right now. I'm really happy with that. And another good thing we got going on is my outdoor channel, Wide Open Adventures, has really kicked up today. We ended up getting 24 new subscribers. We ended up with, I think, 120 new watch hours. So it's just right there at monetization. So that's looking really good too. So we're really doing good. Diana, I couldn't do it without you guys. These two channels are our channels, and I couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are just as big a part of this as I am. I mean, I couldn't come up here and do this if y'all wasn't willing to listen, and I didn't somewhat keep you all entertained a little bit. But I'm working on a few things. We may have a new co-host sitting in for Randy for a little bit. Did you all like the place that Daryl sent us to? What was your all's feelings on that? Since we're all sitting in here just kind of visiting tonight, it almost feels like a members only live. We're all just kind of sitting here hanging out. Y'all remember when I used to do this with you guys, when I would just come on and hang out with you guys? You remember that? Do y'all miss that? We ain't done this in a while. So I thought we would do it. Thank you, Belinda. I appreciate that. I believe that we will do it and surpass that. My expectations are by the first of the year, we should be, I'm going to say, over 30,100 subscribers. What do y'all think? And we may have to do a poll where y'all can guess what we will be by midnight that night, and we may do a special live to see who guessed it, and maybe like do a giveaway or something. Whoever's the closest. Sunshine, that place was very dark. Dark in two different ways. Dark as in the way it felt, and dark as in it was just dark. It's like the moon. I don't know what happened. And it's probably always done that. I'm probably just now noticing it. But it's like once you have the full moon cycle, it's almost like after that, you don't have the moon no more. It's like, wow, it's just a full moon. Everything was so bright. And then you go the next day or 2 days after it, and you're expecting that light, and there's no light. And you're like, what in the world is going on? I don't even know. It could have been the cover. We had a lot of cover over us that night, a lot of tree canopy cover. It is a pretty overgrown place. Man, y'all could see all the vines and stuff. There was so many places for things just to be able to hide down there. And I felt like the whole time I was walking, and it could have been, because it is a new area. It could have just been because it was a new area, and also not being familiar with the area. You know what I mean? It was a whole new place, and then going in there, and yeah, it does, Belinda. It's hard on me, but it does bring in the views. It was a new place. I knew something was there. Speaking to Daryl on the phone, I could hear it in his voice. He was very afraid of this place. He did pull his deer stand down. He's not going to be deer hunting there anymore. Deer season actually started the 18th here for the holiday season. He's not going to be hunting there. Now, his friend got a hold of me. His friend's name is Chuck. And the place he's been going to that we're going to try to get to tonight, now that it's early morning, but the place we're going to try to get to, what happened to him was he was down there and he saw something. He said it was early evening. And he said the fog was rolling in. And he said, man, the fog was looking really, really scary. And hey, Vicky, good to see you. And he said, it was just a real uncomfortable feeling. And he said he started hearing like children giggling. And this is the part that's really bothering me about going to this place, is because he said he heard children giggling. He heard children laughing, children whispering. And then he heard something that sounded like a child saying, help. Okay. So as the fog came in, he was shining his headlamp. He has a lot better headlamp than I do. He's got one of I think it's an Olight. He's got a real bright Olight that he uses. And Chuck said he was like in his deer stand and he's shining his light out through the fog. And he said, I can see these yellow eyes in the fog. And he said, as I see the yellow eyes in the fog, whatever's moving in the fog, he said, looks gray. And it looks about the size of a 10-year-old. And he said, it's moving almost like it's within the fog and behind the trees and in behind the bushes and the shrubbery, and really freaked him out. And he said he thought about leaving. And he said, as I sit there, I thought, no, I'm not going to leave. But he has a rope. He has a bungee cord he said he uses. He's tied to his deer stand that hangs all the way down to the ground. It's got a slip knot in it. He puts his rifle on it when he gets up to his stand and then pulls his rifle up with the rope. He had left it down, and he said whatever it was had made it to his tree, and it had started pulling on that rope while he's up in the deer stand. He's looking down into the dark, into the fog, and he says, I can't see it, but I know it's there because it's jerking it. And it's laughing like a little kid, giggling. And whenever the sun came up, he said, I was not worried about getting a deer. He said, I was more worried about getting my deer stand and leaving. So as soon as he was able to see, he said the fog burned off pretty quick. He took his stand down, loaded everything up, and he left. So whatever that was, he didn't want to deal with it. I spoke with him on the phone about it, and he has now sent me a oh wow, that's interesting, Belinda. He sent me the pin drop on Google on how to find where it's at, and it's not that far from here. So I'm going to go down and check it out, and we'll see if that stuff is really in there. What we may be dealing with on this investigation, though, may not be a Bigfoot or a dog man or what people, allegedly see down there. We may be dealing with something totally different, something that is gray, the size of a 10-year-old, that laughs, giggles, cries like a baby, says, help me. He did say it whistled, but there was no whoops. There was no Bigfoot noises. There was no tree knocks. He said it sounded like somebody barefooted running in the leaves. So like a 10-year-old running around doing this stuff. So it's going to be a pretty wild, I think, trip. And we'll do that hopefully tonight around, it'll either be 7 or 8. Like I said, I'll drop that time. I don't know if a lot of you know. Have y'all heard the encounter I had at my granny's where I told you that I believe that I shot one of these things? I don't know if you probably all have heard that. I told that story a few times, and I just, it makes me wonder sometimes, do these things hold yep, Scott remembers, do they hold a grudge against me because of what happened at my granny's, And, I was talking to Jessie the other night, and she asked me, she's like, how many times did you shoot at what was at your granny's? Was that the only times that, that you've done that? And it wasn't. We shot a lot of guns, a lot of times. Not always at something, but sometimes it was in the air. Sometimes it was in the bushes where it was at, or sometimes you would see it and you would take a shot at it. But it just, it was crazy. It was a crazy time down there, and it made me probably the most angry. It made me angry that it messed with my mom, but it made me the most angry because my granny at the time had had a stroke. And not only was my mom and her sisters and brothers having to deal with their mom being, yep, I was Sky Wonderly. Yep, I was with my cousin. It's like it didn't care. It added to the frustration. It wasn't like mom could just run outside and get something, or somebody could just run outside and get something. They're always, you go outside, you got whistled at, you got yelled at. It would always throw something, or, just do stupid stuff. And it got really, really frustrating. And yeah, Belinda and Sky Wonderly, or OG Sunshine. I think Sunshine's an OG. We got a lot of OGs in here tonight. Oh, hello, Jen. Good to see you. Glad you was able to make it in. I couldn't sleep tonight. I had too much coffee. She says it's 3:55 a.m. where she's at. It is 2:56 a.m. here, Jen. So it sounds like you're probably down around Florida, huh? I think that if I remember right. But yeah, those were some crazy times down there, and I kind of held a grudge against them, Sunshine says, I seen that video with my own eyes where a fog rolled in, looked the shape of a human right in front of the camera, and then turned back into fog and whizzed off. That was in Oklahoma. Oh God. So yeah, it sounds like it's not uncommon for that to happen here in Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a lot of history here, a lot of native ground. You know, I don't live in an Indian res, as everybody was saying I did. I live on Indian territory. There's a huge difference. If you know, you know, right? It's pretty common sense. But when you're telling lies, what's another lie? But no, I don't live on the res. I've never lived on the res. I am Cherokee. My whole family's Cherokee. My dad was a lot darker Cherokee than me. He had the long black hair. But yeah, we live on the territory, or the territory, Cherokee territory. But yeah, it was hard down there. My granny was, you know, she was Cherokee, and her dad was full blood Cherokee, and he would always tell us stories. And what was always weird is Granny always, oh wow, Sunshine. Oh, North Carolina. Welcome in, Urso. Glad to have you. You know, Granny always, it was weird because she would always say, don't worry so much about the Bigfoot. He may be curious. He may watch you. He may harass you. He may whistle at you. He may throw some things at you, but she always thought most of the time he would move on and wouldn't bother you. She never would say what the other things were. I'd had that conversation with Travis Carpenter the other day, but she would always say those other things will. So what are the other things? I guess it would have been the thing with the long nose we've seen, the thing with, you know, the no lower jaw, the werewolf looking thing that my mom's seen, the half man floating through the pasture, the thing I shot at in the hog pasture, the thing that ran across my uncle's car that was covered in fish scales, the weird balls of light that would float through the field. Lots of, you know, there were so many things that went on down there. Actually, Diana, the Cherokees did not live in teepees. That's a thing that a lot of people don't know. Is Cherokee people, we did not live in teepees. So to give you something pretty interesting, go Google it, and if you read about it, I think it will amaze you. Is the Cherokees actually did not live in teepees. Um, but yeah, there was so many different things that happened down there, and I think for sure at Granny's house, some of it was supernatural, some of it was flesh and blood. I believe that they're both connected. I believe you have the, you know, the Nephilim that were killed in the flood. Their spirits were left. That is your demons. And then you have what, you know, I believe Scott Carpenter showed in Melba Ketchum and a few others that in the DNA study that we have the lineage of the Nephilim, which is the Eliads. And if you look up the Eliads, it will show you a whole lot in the Bible. They are the bloodline of the Nephilim. The Nephilim, you know, died in the flood, but the Eliad, they survived it. And some of the belief is that possibly one of Noah's sons' wives would have carried the blood, which would have transferred it over from the ark into the new land, which is how the Nephilim would have survived the flood. And that's kind of where I believe too. And I think Scott and Travis are kind of on that. We're on that same thing. I can't speak for Travis's dad. I would leave that to Travis, but I think Travis feels that way also. And that may be something we need to talk to him when he comes back on the show. He's going to be coming back on the show after the first of the year, and he's going to be coming on both of our channels. So he'll be on Abnormal and Wide Open. So we got Mr. Anderson in here, and I missed somebody, guys. We got a new face in here. I want to try to find it. He says, my grandma's tribe lived in big cedar houses with docks that look like a mix between Aztec and Japanese architecture. Yes. So, Mr. Anderson, you must be Cherokee then, right? I'm guessing because you say, you know, that they live like that. I'm missing. Let me find this, guys. It's really bothering me because I'm missing somebody. Hold on. I don't like to miss somebody. Who am I missing? Mr. Anderson, Diana, Emmy, Jen. There it is. The Sword and the Spirit. There you are, sir. I found you. Welcome to the chat. We're glad to have you. I'm sorry that I missed you when you first come through. Sometimes the chat moves faster than I can grab it, but we're glad to have you with us, and glad to have you part of the conversation also. But yeah, this should turn out to be a pretty interesting night. If the wind will die down. Does anybody know what the wind is supposed to be? Has anybody heard the reports? Is this supposed to be dropping out? I'm hoping it's supposed to drop out soon, because it's really aggravating. Belinda, you didn't live in a cave? I thought Belinda would have for sure lived in a cave, just knowing her. Another place that we're looking at going to is a popular, what they call a spook light area. I'm planning on making a trip there. I have been in contact with a motel that is known historically for being the most haunted hotel, they say, in the United States, and we may be visiting that place. I do have another lady that I'm talking to. She doesn't live that far from me. She lives probably 25, 30 miles from here. She's having Bigfoot activity, and she's going to talk to her son, and we may even be getting access to her property to be able to go in and to be able to investigate. Absolutely. The Sword and the Spirit, we're glad to have you. We'll be boots on the ground tomorrow night if you'd like to join us at either 7 or 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It should be a good one, long as that wind dies down and everything isn't so crazy. So does anybody have any questions for me while I've got everybody in here and we're kind of a slow chat tonight? I'll answer as many questions as I can. If y'all have any questions, just put them in capital letters, and I will do my best to answer. It's blowing a gale here. Man, I wonder what is going on. Everybody is talking about getting strong wind. It's like it's not just here, it's everywhere. Must be some big low pressure or high pressure moving around right now. But like I said, hopefully tonight we'll be able to get out there. I'm going to be doing some filming, not tonight. Let's see, it'll be tomorrow for Wide Open. We're doing some more filming over there. It's windy. Oh, a little bit foggy. Urso, without telling us your exact location, what state are you in? He's got some fog. Fog might be interesting with where we're going tonight. Hopefully we don't have a lot of fog tonight, because whatever's down there seems to like to hang out in the fog. North Carolina. I hope you keep the fog up there, man, because I really don't want none here tonight. That would really bring a fear factor, especially after him telling me everything. Why are you investigating in the field? The Sword and the Spirit tonight, we're going to go down. We got a report from a gentleman that saw something that was grayish in color. He said it looked to be the size of a 10-year-old, and he said that it moved amongst the fog, but it did have eye shine. It made giggling noises, laughing noises, cried like a baby. There was a few whistles, and he could hear like it running in the leaves, like it was barefoot. So we're going to be heading down there, and we're going to see if we can experience what he experienced and if we can catch anything. You look better in a black top. Well, I got my orange on today because rifle season had reopened and I had been out in the field, so I didn't want to give anybody an excuse already that doesn't like me, that's stalking me around here. At least I would be in orange and compliant with the Oklahoma State regulations as far as being out in the field. So we have to have so many inches, so many square inches of orange on. if they catch you out there without so many inches of square orange, then it's a pretty good find. North Carolina, been a lot of pale crawlers here in North Carolina for some reason lately. So it seems like we've got a lot of upticks going on right now around everywhere. I've been getting a lot of things going on. I was talking to Ryan Tremblay, and that man knows about skinwalkers and stuff like that. I'd love to get him on the show and have a show about skinwalkers and have him break down what he knows. And of course, all of us be able to pick his brain. What do y'all think about that? We could get him on here and we could just all of us just go at him. Not real hard though. It would be nice. But yeah, that guy's very knowledgeable, man. He knows about that for sure. New Zealand, I just found out we have cryptids. Belinda, I think they're everywhere. I believe all the continents were together at one time, and I think you're going to find them everywhere. They may be more populated in some areas than others, but I would say that you're going to find them almost everywhere. That would be my guess. So does anybody have any questions? Wind was blowing a cold front end and it blew down some power line lights and were cut a couple of hours. Oh no, Jen, that's not good. Especially if it's cold and people don't have power. I worry about that for people a lot. Yeah, I do believe, Diana, the veil is definitely thinning. Yes, please, what, Psychic? I think I missed something. Let me know what I missed, and I will get right on it. Sunshine, I've been out in this island for a couple of weeks, and it's been foggy almost every night. It's not unusual this time of year either. It's not unusual. Yeah, I don't know where you're at, Sunshine, but I don't like the fog. I feel like the fog presents a moving camouflage canopy, if you will, that allows them to move more freely and possibly closer to you. It's almost like they're under a blanket. Fog, as you know, is going to interrupt your beam of light. You're not going to be able to see as far with your lights, which you're going to be limited, which isn't good. You never want to be limited on your eyesight. That's why I don't like going into those little areas whenever you're out there. Well, there's a name for them. I'll just say it since we're late tonight. It's called a kill box is what it's called. And I don't like to be caught inside of a kill box because bad things can happen in areas to where you don't have distance. Distance to me is very important if you're an investigator dealing with a wild animal. Whatever you're having to do, you're going to want that distance. Yes, please bring on the guy to talk about the cryptids. I'm going to try to, Psychic. I want to really get with him and see if I can get him to come on. I will talk with him tomorrow also. That's right, Belinda. But I don't know. Whenever you get, it is, Diana. I agree. And can you imagine if they are able to cloak like a chameleon or D.A. Roberts, really good friend of mine. I met him when I first started doing this, and me and him, we had discussed, a lot of things. And whenever, I started, talking about the moon phases, and then D.A. Roberts, he came up with the what was it? He calls it the adaptive camouflage. DA has a theory, and I believe he's right, that they are able to use to move the hairs on their body, kind of like a cat will stand their hairs up on the back of their neck and their back. But I believe they have more control over it than even what a cat does. I think they have a lot more control. And I believe that those hairs are able to absorb, mimic, or reflect its surrounding, giving it that adaptive camouflage, which kind of like a cloaking. And imagine something having those capabilities being in the middle of the fog. Imagine that. Remember that mic when you weren't moving on it. Oh yeah, I try to forget that, Jan, or I wouldn't do it. But just imagine something with those capabilities moving amongst the fog that is able to generate or mimic or reflect the stuff around it. Because I mean, imagine, and what D.A. Roberts is talking about goes far beyond a mirror. But just picture if you were out in the dark woods, right? And you're out there and you have your friend go out there in the dark woods, right? And he takes and he puts mirrors around him. And he's walking in the dark and in the fog with mirrors completely around him in the woods with a lot of cover. So that mirror is reflecting a lot of things. Imagine how hard it would be to see him with him walking around like that just in the woods. Imagine. Now, imagine how hard that would be. And now imagine something that lives in the woods, it has to survive in the woods, it has to hunt in the woods. Its pure survival counts on being hidden, being able to ambush, being able to hunt, being able to evade people. And imagine the abilities it would be able to do and the stealth factor that it would have. It would be a top predator in those woods. Predator, perfect word for it. The fog has been leaving in excess of water and everything, and even in the 70s, at least before the water dries up. Well, don't be going out in that fog, sunshine, for sure. Don't be going out there. I wouldn't want to see you get out there and get hurt or something attack you. You can change your visual frequency and move out of sight. It's a vacuuming effect where you draw inwards. That's interesting. I have to look into that. Diana, David Paulides from Missing 411 talks about something that glimmers like the predator. Hunters have allegedly have been seen. Diana, I'm glad you brought that up. I've got a story for you since you brought that up. I told you we'd probably get into a story tonight. So you're talking about the glimmer. I spoke to Travis Carpenter. You know Travis Carpenter's dad, Scott Carpenter. He worked with David Paulides. They're really good friends. I believe Travis is pretty good friends with him too. So the glimmer that you're talking about, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember whenever I had went down to that one location and we saw that shiny thing moving through the woods, how it was kind of sparkly and glimmering? That was what brought up the conversation between Travis and I need to talk to Travis deeper about that. I may send him an email. Whenever I was younger, me and my cousin had went out into the hog lot, and that's what we called it. We had only seen these things one time, and I'm only speaking for me. I'm not talking about my mom and them. This is just me and my cousin. When we walked down there was two things standing over by the back fence, and by the back fence I mean over by the back corner, to where if you crossed that fence you was on the neighbor's property, which headed over to a really large pond. Well, there was two things over there. We don't know what they were. They were not white, but they were like a white color, like a dull white. It's hard to explain. You could see them in the darkness. They were like a white. It's hard to explain. Almost like they were glowing a dull white color. But anyways, whenever we seen them, we stopped, and of course we yelled at it. And we were 30, 40 yards from it in pure darkness. And we did not have the kind of lights I have now. We had the old plastic double D battery flashlights. That's all we had. And we were shining it at it. Whatever they were, they sparkled like a diamond. I mean, they sparkled. They were almost pretty. But it was weird how they sparkled. And then they stood really tall for some reason. I don't know if they stood up, if they'd done that, like some people say, you want to become bigger than the predator. But for some reason they done that. They crossed the fence and then they headed back down toward the pond. Always water, right? Something to do with water. Well, when they went across the fence, you could hear the barbed wire go. So whatever it was physical, because it actually had to push the fence down. And those fences to me, or those fences back then, they had wood in them. My grandpa they would cut tree limbs and stuff and make the fence posts, and they would break sometimes, or they would use them sometimes, or they wouldn't even go to the ground. They would use them just to space the barbed wire, and they would just be kind of swinging where you could flip them and go under them and then flip them back. Well, where it crossed is where they had one of those at, and it just sounded like it pushed it down and let go of the fence, and the other one pushed it down, let go, and they went toward the pond because you had that, you know. So whatever it was definitely physical. We didn't shoot at it. We were armed. Most of the time, we wasn't armed as good as we should have been. You know, we didn't know. Back then, we were young. I had a 410 single shot in Mossberg. It was the first gun I ever owned. It was the first gun my dad bought me. I still have it because it has a lot of memories, because the guy that my dad bought it from, it was also his first gun. And so it's got, a lot of memories. And then my cousin, he was normally either carrying a 22 pump. Y'all ever seen a 22 pump? He's carrying a 22 pump, or he would be carrying a 20 gauge. So that's what we carried. And, we thought we were ready for bear because it was our guns, but it was, it's what we carried, and it's what we hunted them with. There was nights that me and my cousin would be so mad because whatever it was messing around, scaring my granny. She was sick. She'd had a stroke. Her health was failing. It wasn't something that she got better from. It ended up, being the reason that she passed on. But there was nights we were so angry that it was bothering my aunts, and of course his mom was staying too, so it was bothering him, that we would crawl on top of the house, and we would crawl up on top of the house. And the house, the way it was built, was the back end was flat, and then it went up to a real sharp eave, and then it went down in the front, and then there was a porch. Well, there was a fireplace that came up the top, an old rock fireplace. So we crawled up to the top of the 90-degree pitch up there. And when we got up there, the trees in the front yard, the maple trees, and I think it was maples and elm mostly, they were grown all around the house. It was to shade, because back then they didn't have air conditioners. They had water coolers, and most of the time it was just the windows open and the doors open. So they planted shade trees around the house. So we would set up on the pitch of this house, and the trees were touching the house. We could almost sit in the trees on the house, and the yard light was out in the circle drive. It threw just enough light through those trees you could pretty much see around the house. And we were sitting out there, and we would sit out there at night, and we would wait to try to see if we could see what was coming up, beating on the house, scratching on the house, those deep, rough breathing. It almost felt like a coffee pot percolating the way it would breathe. And we would sit up there and we would hide in shadows. We had camouflage, that we had bought, because we hunted, so we would wear our camo. And we were sitting up there one night, and whatever it was, just another weird thing that's going to blow some of y'all's mind. It comes from out in the pasture, and where it comes from out in the pasture, there's a well. Now, this well had been filled in several years prior. They filled it in with a bunch of rock, but the rock had settled and kind of fell. But whatever it was, it came from the well up behind the chicken house, and we seen it walking. And I remember we were like, what in the world is that? Because, my dad was a big guy. My dad was 6'6", 350 pounds, big old guy. This would have swallowed my dad. We saw it walk up behind that chicken house. And our first thing was, man, that's huge. We're just, teenagers. And we're like, is it going to come up to the house? And if it does, what are we going to do? And we're like, we're going to shoot it. If it comes up, we're going to stop it. We're absolutely going to stop it. We're going to shoot it, because we're not going to have this bothering Granny and our moms no more, or our aunts. We're going to take care of whatever this is. The thing that nobody else could take care of, we believe that we're going to be able to take care of it. So we're sitting up there. It moves up from the chicken house, goes into the hog pasture, I don't think it knew we was up there at this time because it did not act like it knew we were there the way it was moving. It's like it was trying to hide, but it wasn't hiding from us. It was more hiding from the house and the windows of the house. So it comes around. It's moving through the hog pasture. We see it moving kind of in the darkness, and then you can see it, you can see it, you can see it. And then, man, my ears just rung. My cousin's, boom, he lets one rip. Well, whenever he shot, I shot. And we unloaded on it. Knowing now what I know about weapons and chokes and shells and ammunition and reloading, the distance that we shot at, me having the 410, him having a 20 gauge, it probably just would have just burnt the hell out of whatever it was. I mean, probably just pissed it off. But whatever, it took off, it ran, and whenever it was hit, the weird thing was, it made you ever heard like one of those movies where the monkey gets hurt and how it screams when it's like scared or something? That was kind of the noise that whatever this was made. It was a loud, I would call it a monkey scream when we shot. Well, when he shot, he hit it. I was just shooting because he had shot and I was shooting at sound. And you should never do that either. And it took off running. And it made that long, scary scream, which they heard that a lot more down there after that. So it wasn't uncommon to hear that scream. So, yeah, that was just some of the things that went on down there. But, guys, I'm not going to keep you much longer. We've been on here an hour. I could sit here and tell you stories all night about grannies. Just remember, tonight, guys, check out this thumbnail that's already out. For tonight, it's on the page. Go to it, click on it, say hello, let us know you're coming. I'll put out a short today, let you know if we're going to do 7 or 8. If I have to move it up to 7, I apologize if that bothers any of y'all. I'm going to try not to, but we may have to because I do have a lot of things planned. I can't show you my calendar, but my calendar is full, guys, and I've got jerking everything around, and I've got all this right here I got to do today. People I got to call, interview, and set up for stuff. So we may have to do 7 tonight because I didn't plan on having to push it back. If the wind cooperates with this, if it's still windy tonight, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to blow a good place to investigate. You know what I mean? If it's a good place, because man, if we go and blow it, this, it could be like a one-time opportunity. And I don't want to blow it. So hopefully we'll make it out there tonight. I will let you know in the chat, and I'll do a short today. Thank you guys for showing up this late in the morning. It was fun. It was interesting. I haven't done it in a long time. So I just wanted to come on and say hello to you guys, give you an update on what's going on tonight, let you know why we missed today, and just spend a little bit of time with you. It's always a pleasure. Guys, I hope you have a great night. Good night. And remember, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you tonight if everything works out. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your support. Good night.
Through the Oklahoma red dirt dust we crawl. Every step another battle, another brawl. Demons whisper lies, try to tear us down. With God's strength we keep the demons drowned. Ride or die through the firestorm tonight. God brought us here, we'll stand and fight. You're my best friend, my love, my life. I'm going nowhere, I'm holding tight. The wind's howling, the skies turn black, but we never falter, never turn back. what's bound in grace. With you, I've found my safest place. Right